BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
What's up, guys? Chef Jeff, this dope cooking show. Look, what's going on? We back for another episode, Tuesday, 5:30, without fail. Hey, look, we're not cooking today. I had a boo-boo. yeah, it happens. It happens. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just slip. Sometimes it's a twist of the wrist. Sometimes you're just sleepy and exhausted, and you just hit your finger with a very sharp knife. So anyway, yeah, we're not cooking today. Had a boo-boo. I cut the tip of my finger off. Right about that much. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I had to go to work in another city. I went to work in Austin for the weekend, right? It was one of those nonstop things. Like, got the call on like a Wednesday, or like got the call on a Wednesday. Wanted to confirm by Thursday morning. Thursday morning was like, yeah, I'll be there tonight. And it was just go until I got back Sunday midday. And one day of downtime, we're right back at it. Okay. So yeah, I woke up. Well, let's back all the way up. Zeke, my youngest, has decided that he wants to play football. I mean, everybody let the angels in heaven rejoice that I am now a sports parent again. We had a nice little break. My oldest played soccer for the majority of her life. And then, she went off to college and played for a little bit. But, we impress her with the other ones. We just kind of just like, hey, when you decide to, cool, we got you. One day he slid in the living room like, yo, Dad, I want to play football. All right, let's do it. So I told him what the rules was. Once I pay my money, you got to play the season. There's no quitting. Don't be crying. Cry if it hurts, but don't cry because you suck. Or, you know what I mean? He's never played any kind of organized sport, so it's fine. But kids get defeated sometimes because they can't do it. Or somebody does it better. And I know that's going to come. But I'm excited, super duper excited. We all piled in the truck. We all went to practice. We took pictures. We took videos. We sent videos and pictures to other people in the family, because people was shocked that Zeke was playing football, and we out here. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that happened. So after we got back from that practice, which ended at 8, I jumped on the road and made a trip to Austin. It was like 2.5 hours from me. That wasn't no problem, but it was the day, part of the day. Like, my day starts at 3 a.m., 2:30-ish. I wake up, 3 a.m. I'm, fumbling around, trying to get to work. So that started to catch up with me. So I finally hit town, checked in, and was out. Had to get right back up and be at work that next morning. And it was like, the place I was at, they really be working. Like, they working. Like, they get it. I'm talking about sweating all day. Like, I was like, oh, wait a minute, hold up. Chef, though, I don't really want to be part of nothing like this. They working balls to the wall all day long. I kind of wanted to be busy and slow down, get a cup of water, check my voice, check my mail, my email, my social media, see what's going on in the world. You know what I mean? But anyway, we made it through, right? Got home, fell asleep, woke up in a panic, like, thought I was supposed to be at work, but I wasn't. But also, I heard the trash truck coming down the street, and I knew my trash hadn't been set out. So I jumped up and running around, I'm sweating, trying to get the trash out, get to the curb. What you got there? And then come to find out it wasn't the right truck. It was a recycle truck. A recycle truck. He normally don't come there early. But anyway, that was a trash truck. Getting the trash out of my house is very, very important because I cook a lot, right? Raw food, raw chicken, all that kind of stuff. You can't let this sit. It's got to go because it'll stink, turn to maggots, and then flies. You know what I'm saying? And everybody be looking at you crazy, like, what's up with that guy? Why is his house stink? Yeah. So anyway, I try to stay on point with the trash, collection. So anyway, I was I was gonna make an omelet for Doc. I was cutting, I got, trash out, come back in. I'm gonna make an omelet for Doc for when she come home from the gym, right? Be back on our gym journey. She goes to the gym in the morning, I go to the gym like midday, right? And yeah, it's crazy. So um and I really like I have a trainer, like a for real legit trainer. He is training me, and it's serious business. Okay. So got to have the proteins, all that kind of stuff, watching my calorie, macros, all the things. And so Doc is doing the same thing. She's been on the journey. I'm just getting back on it, right? I remember what happened in February. I don't need to say it again, but I ain't really been doing nothing but eat. And so, your boy got to get back that boy's feet because it's gonna be summertime, hot, buns out, guns out. You see what I'm saying? So I got to make sure my guns is ready to be out. So we, I'm trying to make her some breakfast. I'm cutting, chopping, and my mind got to wondering, like, damn, I hope everything all right at work. I hope I'm walking into no craziness. Boop. And all I felt was a sharp pain go up my arm. I looked down and was like, so yeah, I slipped. I messed up, wasn't focused, wasn't concentrate. Didn't have my finger bent like I should have. You know what I mean? There's a way you're supposed to bend your fingers when the knife is going against, you're supposed to keep your fingers here or here, but mostly here. Try to keep your fingers there so the knife doesn't cut. I didn't have my finger bent. Better it happened at home than at work. Because at work it would have been like a drug test, an accident report. What was you doing? You know better. Why you had no cut glove on? Blah 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 blah. There are really precautions that chefs have to deal with, and could almost end up losing your job over because you didn't take the proper steps, right? So kind of happy that it happened at home. I don't think it would have if I had been at work, it wouldn't have happened because I wouldn't have, I'd have been focused a little more. So anyway, yep, that happened. So yeah, no, we're not cooking nothing, and I'm gonna take full advantage of this so that way I don't have to cook for those other people in apartment A and B over there. I mentioned can't do nothing about pizza all week. Sound fun to me. Anyway, so listen, if you are here, welcome. This dope cookie show, award-winning cookie show on the BS3 network. We've been doing this for quite some time, but what I have recently started doing was incorporating recalls because for one, y'all like them, two, y'all nosy, and three, I just really think that the people need to know because with there are some things going on now that weren't happening before because of this administration, and it's going to trickle down to us, the consumer, people like me and you, to go to the store to buy stuff. It's going to be sky high, and we're going to wonder why. But I'm going to tell you why, because people not in place doing what they're doing, and they are running it up. Okay, so first of all, let's get into. Have y'all seen the outbreak of screwworms? Screwworms in beef. We're gonna talk about it. But have you have you noticed like it just popped up out of nowhere, right? I'm gonna tell you initially I'm gonna tell you what has happened. The funding for funding for that research and to kind of keep that outbreak contained has been cut by the administration. So if you ain't got no money for it, you move on to what you got money for, right? And they didn't have no money for that. So it was kind of contained in Mexico at a point, and had a couple cases across the border, man. So now it's here. It's definitely in Texas for sure, and it's in beef. They found some on a freshly born calf's umbilical cord, and it is a flesh-eating worm. My God, today I flesh-eating worm. Like they just eat. So do it. So now I got questions, right? But okay. I'm going off into my tangent. Because remember, I had questions about that hantavirus too. What happened to them people? Where they at? Where they go? Where they go? I wait. Is they still in quarantine in Omaha or Oklahoma? Or what? Have they been released back to the regular schedule program? We don't know. I got questions. So I got questions about these screwworms too. But first, let's get to these recalls. Latest U.S. food recalls as of June 2026. Whew, y'all ready? Got your pen and paper? Let's do this. All right, first one. Steve's Real Food freeze-dried chicken recipe from Go Raw LLC. The reason why it was recalled may contain low levels of thiamine, vitamin B1. The action: do not use. Return to the place of purchase for a refund or dispose per recall instructions. Steve's Real Food Freeze Dried Chicken Recipe. What that is, don't know. I ain't never seen it. So write it down. Okay. Number 2. Requesson Cheese, Nelson and Issa Lactose LLC, may be contaminated with listeria, serious pathogens, monocytogenes, if that's how you say the word. Monocytogenes, monocytogenes. Do not consume, return, or dispose immediately. I never heard of them either, but it's news you can use. Just roll with it. Pearl Milling Company original pancake and waffles. Don't mess with my pancakes and waffles. I don't even really eat breakfast, but when I do, I want some pancakes, right? I need to make sure the pancake mix gonna be on point. But let's see what they talking about. Okay, this ain't that bad. It says undeclared soy and milk content. Do not use or dispose of. Pearl Milling Company original pancake and waffle mix. I mean, if you got a milk allergy, soy or milk allergy, this would be the reason why you don't consume that, right? Okay, cool. Dried herring fish, prime food processing. The reason: not adequately eviscerated, may harbor Clostridium spores. Do not consume, return, and dispose of. Oh, okay. This one is Up and Up baby wipes at Target. Up and Up baby wipes at Target may be contaminated with Burkholderia. Burkholderia. Sounds like Burkholderia to me. Do not use, dispose of. All right. Senior Foods USA LLC, frozen pork and crab soup dumplings. Misbranding, undeclared allergens. Do not use, just return, or dispose of. Okay. Crawfish Sausage Company, head cheese. Is that hog head cheese? Hey, listen, I used to eat hog head cheese with my grandma back in the day, like on saltine cracker, and I had no idea what I was eating. Yeah. Okay. Crown Sausage Company, head cheese. Hog head cheese. I never even thought of what it would. Anyway. Listeria outbreak strain. Do not consume, return, or dispose of. All right. Other recent recalls per STOP. I don't know what that means, but foodborne illnesses. Moringa capsules, Amazon. You can get the moringa. I forget what that is. It's some kind of supplement. Moringa capsules. You get there. You can get those at Amazon, eBay, TikTok, or Target. Specialty beverages. Parmesan ranch seasoning, multi-brands. Parmesan ranch seasoning, yo. Don't get that. Don't say if it's the powder. I guess it is the powder. So don't get that, because they got an outbreak on that one. I ain't say too much about it, but I mean, geez, that's enough, right? Enoki mushrooms, that's in Florida and in Texas. Kippered herring. I don't know anybody that really eats herring, but if you eat herring, if you don't hear you eat herring, the one that's kippered, Kippered, don't eat it. And then golden smoked whole herring. That's Illinois, Maine, New Jersey, and New York. Golden smoked whole herring. And if you're tuning in from all over the world, if you're in that part of the world, don't eat the golden smoked whole herring. Okay? Don't do it. Just do not do it. All right? Stay away from it all. Stay away from it. That's why you got to pray over your food. You got to be careful in your selection. When you go to the grocery store. Did I tell y'all about the already seasoned meats? Already like marinated meats? If I haven't, I think I have, but if I haven't, watch those pre-marinated meats, right? Those are meats that are about to spoil. So they put their marinade on it, vacuum seal it again. You walk up and go, oh, taco season. It's already seasoned. You know, just be careful, okay? Had some one time, I had some tacos. I had some, I think it was cilantro lime chicken. Man, messed me up. Messed me up. Food like bad. Bad, bad, bad. Let's see. Gas X extra strength soft gels. Um, if you got the gas, bloated, lactose tolerant, all that. Gas. If you take the Gas X pills, the Gas X extra strength soft gels, the 120 and 72 count have been recalled for potential chemical contamination. What the chemical is, I don't know, but it probably ain't supposed to be in there. So just be careful. Motor City Pizza Company. Motor City Pizza Company, the 5 cheese bread single and 2 packs. Possible salmonella contamination. All right. That is the Motor City Pizza Company, the 5 cheese bread single and 2 packs. All right. Let's see what else. Let's see what else is on here. There are 942 recalls on this. What I look at, I just kind of look at the first page or two, but there are 942. That 900. This month. This month, guys. Like, this is insane. Okay, so all right. Skinny dipped chocolate, dark chocolate, coconut almond bites by Skinny Dip may contain undeclared peanuts, so they ain't labeled it right, right? Boner Bears chocolate product contains. Oh, if you take Boner Bears, okay, Boner Bears is some old gas station stuff. So it's a chocolate that's got sildenafil in it. So that's Viagra, all them. That's all that. That's what sildenafil is. They've been recalled because the product contains, I guess, too much sildenafil. Okay, all right. Angel Specialty Products, Royal Gold, Boba Time, and Dinda Specialty Beverages. They don't list what beverages it is, but it's Angel Specialty Products, Royal Gold, Boba Time are those are the companies. Specialty beverages recalled due to contamination of salmonella. All right. So look, that's just the first couple of. Oh, from a dog owners, if you give your dog raw energy dog food, it has been recalled due to listeria contamination. All right. Raw energy, RAAW energy, dog food. Never heard of it, but you got to pay attention because it could be in another name brand or listed as another name brand. You know what I mean? We listed somewhere else. Okay. Kroger brand cheese and garlic croutons recalled due to potential salmonella and contamination. I had some of them croutons, so I must investigate further because I like croutons on my salad. I don't know about y'all, but I do. Okay, Whole Foods Market minestrone soup may contain undeclared shrimp. How we missed that? Do y'all know what minestrone soup is? How you put shrimp in that? Somebody wasn't paying attention. They were not paying attention. Birch Benders sweet potato pancake and waffle mix recalled because of undeclared egg. Somebody didn't read their recipe card when they were in their factory making it. That's what happened. That's exactly what happened. So those are some of the recalls for this week. This month. I'm sorry. These are some of the recalls for this month of June that are on the first page or two or three of the recall list of 942 recalls. That is insane. All right, guys. Let's talk about it. Because what is it, first of all? Because They just got on the news and were like, yeah, screwworm outbreak. Like we were supposed to know that. So of course, and let me tell y'all something. This got a heartbeat. And it when I was at the emergency room, they was like, you want time? I'm like, nah, I'm good. He's like, you sure? I'm like, all right, I'll take it. That thing got the beating when I got out the car. When I got home, and then I got the beating like in my finger. I was like, oh. But it subsided because I, took the medicine. I listened to their advice. Okay. So yeah, they get on the news and like screwworm outbreak, and I'm like, so of course there's an Ebola outbreak in Africa, right? That's happening. You got the hantavirus outbreak that's happening. They're not talking about because it's over here. They all up and through with the Ebola. They all up and through talking about that. They ain't talking about the hantavirus people no more. Now we on to this screwworm. Now what? Now big picture, right? Um, I don't know if you all have watched the show Yellowstone. If you haven't watched, it's a series with Kevin Costner, and I can't think of the dude's name, but he was in a Medea movie. But he in there. They call him Whip. Anyway, this series is like cowboys and Indians with a hint of the mob and a little bit of gang violence in it. Right? It's crazy. So it's all kinds of stuff happening in there, but it's mostly about the Yellowstone, the land, the people that own it, they cattle, and what they doing with the land. People trying to get the land and turn it to an airport, blah 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 blah. But they are dealing with cattle and issues that they deal with, right? So some of these things aren't far fetched, right? There are things that like people in that world in that realm, that's what they deal with. Like me, Chef Jeff, would not know nothing about a screwworm or anything that happens to cattle while they're alive. I deal with it on the other side after they have been processed and put in packaging and refrigerated and put in my store, right? So of course I don't know nothing about it. But then when they start talking about screwworm, I'm listening to the story and I'm like, oh, that's a cat. That's in a cow. So yeah, I remember the mad cow disease back in the day. Yeah, I might be too young to know. But there was a mad cow disease outbreak or something where the cows was like eating each other or taking it or like hurting each other, something like that. So, it happens, right? But there are companies and programs and people in place to keep these things from happening. Those people don't got no jobs no more. So those things, the processes are just there. They're not being acted upon, right? And so there was a process in place to keep the screwworm from coming into the United States. Well, those group of people have been fired, moved on, put into another department or whatever, and they do not monitor the screwworms anymore. Okay. So big picture, this is going to drive the price of beef up like astronomically, right? We already been paying a lot of money for steaks, tomahawk steaks. Y'all running to get the steaks with the gold on it. Y'all going to the steakhouse and getting them, it's going to drive your meat up fast. It's going to drive it up because if it starts to grow, then it's going to be certain people. Now, only going to be certain people, follow the bouncing ball, that have the quality prime beef that's able to be sold on the U.S. marketplace, and so that's going to cost them. That's going to make them drive their price up, right? Because it's going to be a higher demand than supply. Listen to me now. I'm tapping into my superpower. I'm telling you, I got these superpowers, man. And I'm telling you, it's been on point since probably about 4 years ago. I didn't really know, but then when I started going back and look back over my life and things yeah. Anyway, I digress. The New World screwworm is what it's called. Is a parasitic blowfly. I'm sure that they've heard about blowflies before, right? A parasitic blowfly whose larvae feed on the living tissue of warm-blooded animals. I'm warm-blooded. So does that mean they're going to eat me too? See, I got questions. They lay their eggs in wounds or openings they lay their eggs in wounds or openings, and the larvae burrow into the flesh, causing significant harm to livestock and wildlife. What is this? What? What in the hell? Is it what? Okay. This species is primarily found in subtropics and is a major pest, promoting government efforts for control and prevention. Remember, I said this administration have removed them people. So the people in the government that is part of the control and prevention are unemployed. Effective measures include surveillance, and they use sterile fly techniques to manage the population and prevent outbreaks. See, all that ain't happening. All that ain't happening. It's not going on right now. It's not happening because the people have been fired, recommissioned somewhere else, and they're not doing it no more. Okay, so that's what's going on. Okay, and the crazy part about it is, I mean, you don't never. I hate flies. I hate it. Can't stand it. But you never really trip off of like this is being transmitted by flies. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the flies lay the eggs, the egg larvae get into the meat, burrow themselves in there. As I said, they found one on the umbilical cord of a freshly born calf. It's crazy. It's already in. So, anyway. All right. The New World screwworm flies are obligate parasites as their larvae require living tissue for food. This lifestyle distinguishes them from other members of the genus whose larvae is primarily fed on necrotic tissue or excrement. So the flies on the dead meat, the flies that land on the dog poop, them the normal flies. These other ones, nah, they got to eat the meat of living, like vampire flies or something. That's crazy. That's what the screwworm is. That's what the screwworm is. And so this is what's starting to creep up. You know what I mean? They got a couple of cases in Texas, right? A couple of cases they came across the border like last week. Okay, so that's where we at with it. We got a few cases in Texas, and they're trying to quarantine those calves or that cattle to keep it from spreading. Right? They don't know. Just like the hantavirus, it spread so fast. By the time it hit our ears, it didn't hit a lot of people. Right? Um, Historically, the original distribution area was the southern states of the United States, Mexico, Central America, and the northern states of South America. South South America, south to Uruguay and northern Argentina. It was also present in some Caribbean islands. So it's been around, right? It's been around. It's been one of them things, but it is spreading. So let's find out what happens because living warm-blooded animals, we mammals, but we live in and breathe warm-blooded, right? Screwworm infestation in humans is rare, but serious conditions where fly larvae feed on living tissue, causing painful, foul-smelling wounds that require prompt medical treatment. So, ew. That's really ill. Okay. Um, Unlike other maggots that consume dead tissue, screwworm larvae feed on healthy living flesh, making them particularly dangerous. The adult flies are attracted to open wounds, skin lesions, or body orifices, such as nose, ear, mouth, genitalia. Um, Gross, right? So, if you should happen to have a screwworm infection, something happen, you outside kicking in and the screwworm gets you or whatever, bite you or whatever, let's say, I don't know how it's gonna happen, but I'm trying to just give you this information so you kind of be halfway like knowledgeable because I ain't going into detail for real on TV. So signs of screwworm infestation in a human include painful, rapidly worsening wounds. They may enlarge as larvae burrow deeper, so like it could swell and puff up, right? A foul odor from the broken tissue. So like if you got it got on you and your wound starts to stink like it's infected. Cessation of movement under the skin. under the skin as the larvae feed. You can feel it. Oh my God, I don't want to go outside no more. Okay, visible larvae is an advanced case appearing white or yellowish. Secondary bacterial infections may develop if untreated. Risk factors. Humans are at a higher risk if they have open wounds or skin lesions, live in or travel in endemic regions such as Central or South America, Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, or the Dominican Republic. If you spend time outdoors or around livestock and pets, experience poor hygiene and unsanitary conditions. That's how you can get this screwworm up on you. Okay. I just want to get you how that is. So let me give you a little bit of, in case you get it, might be some treatment for you. So complete removal of all larvae, which may require surgical intervention if deeply embedded. Follow-up checks within 24 to 48 hours to ensure no larvae or eggs remain in your body. There are no specific medications proven to kill screwworm larvae, so physical removal is the only way to get this up off you. So I sound like staying inside is sounding more and more fun to me because I don't want no screwworm, nothing. I mean, nothing else happening to me in my lifetime. But look, I want to get y'all this information. It's been a long week. I'm about to go to sleep. I'm gonna catch y'all next week. Chef is out.